Goo goo gaga. Please like and subscribe. My girlfriend said she's okay with not having a child, but if she has an unplanned pregnancy she'll keep it. After hearing her tell me this, I'm starting to have second thoughts about this relationship. We always use two forms of contraception: condoms and birth control. And both of us agree that having a child right now would be a disaster. I've made it adamantly clear to her that I never want children, and she said that she's fine with having or not having children either way. I'm not sure if I'm just overreacting, since the chances of her getting pregnant are so slim. Would this be a relationship deal breaker for you people? 100% a deal breaker. It could just be me, but I'm the result of both a broken condom and birth control failure, so if I was your age and wasn't sterile, I personally wouldn't take the risk. I'm sterile now, but I also avoid committed relationships now for reasons unrelated to child freedom. Not to mention that she wants to baby trap and goes off birth control. Even worse if she has access to the condoms. Frankly, I couldn't have sex with her ever again if not snipped. The anxiety would take every ounce of joy out of it. My ex-girlfriend and I are not together for unrelated reasons. However, I never doubted her child-freeness for a second. My only parent friend used to tease us every now and then. Once he was discussing choosing his daughter's name, and tried to make a joke about us having to choose one too, if we had an accident. Without flinching she said, "Yeah, her name will be Abortina." He never bingoed us again. Bless her heart. Personally, I'm only comfortable with that level of commitment to being child-free. Edited to add. I missed the part where you said that she said she's fine either way. That is a typical phrase of people who changed their mind later or were pretending to be child-free while secretly hoping you will change your mind. It's worse than I thought.
She is not completely child-free, my friend. That indifference in her answer is screaming it. Just the indifference itself is concerning. She shouldn't feel either way about a huge life-changing event like getting preggo and keeping it. That mentality of oopsie, I guess I'm a mom now, is very concerning. She is clearly okay with massive life changes happening without planning. Indeed, very concerning. You nailed it, my friend. She seems like a fence-sitter more than child-free. I would have an honest conversation with her, and explain, once again, that this is not negotiable. Careful with her methods of contraception, those slim chances do happen. And you may want to seek a vasectomy soon too. But, all that said, to be honest, I would end the relationship. Both of you are still young, and although you care for each other, it seems you want different things out of life. Nope. Quote. She's said that she's fine with having or not having children either way. End quote. She's not child-free. She's a fence-sitter. You don't date people who are fine either way, because those are people who haven't made a choice. And people who haven't made a choice will usually have the world make that choice for them. In other words, she's fine with it now. Until all her friends start having kids, until her parents ask for grandkids, until her coworkers ask if her partner doesn't love her enough to give her kids. It's not about people who are fine either way, the point is to find people who could not be fine any other way than without kids. Anything else is a mess waiting to blow up. There is no fine either way on something as monumental as kids. Look around here for breakup stories, and count the number of the ones who start with "my partner said they were fine with this." They are too many. Get out now. Yeah, this sounds like a disaster waiting to happen. Some of these posters' level of risk tolerance, while still hoping to live child-free, amazes me. Absolutely. This is one of those "my parents are miserable together, so my life suffers for it" situations waiting to happen.
She's not child-free. This is definitely a deal breaker. If she says, fine either way, watch out. I've heard that from many friends who later went on to want children.
As pretty much everyone else here has said, I think it's highly unlikely that she's actually fine either way. Kids are a monumentally life-changing decision. For me and child-free people, they change your life for the worse, but some people genuinely want them, which is fine. But true indifference to kids is beyond rare. And for very good reason. Most people either strongly want them, for whatever reason, or strongly don't. The lifestyle differences and implications are so monumental and far-reaching, from, do I give birth, to do I blow my money partying? Or save for a house, a crib, and maybe college? I would be very, very suspicious of anyone who says they're fine either way, because that is so unlikely, and most people who say that secretly do want kids and they hope you will change your mind when you're older. Everyone does after all. Or they hope that they can change their mind for you after you've been together for long enough, developed a bond, maybe gotten married, and you don't want to get a divorce so you cave. And truthfully, in the very unlikely scenario that she honestly doesn't care whether she has a kid, that doesn't speak volumes for her intellect and ability to self-reflect. At best it suggests extreme youthful immaturity. I would lose respect for someone who doesn't purposely make a decision with such monumental consequences, and just lets the world decide for them. Not to mention the society pushes kids pretty heavily.
This sounds like a baby trap waiting to happen. OP, I'd be terrified of getting baby trapped. Continuing with this person is playing with fire.
I would be way too paranoid. Because accidents happen. Even if you're using two kinds of protection. That definitely would be a deal breaker for me. I don't think she's really child-free. Sorry, man. Bail. Keep your condoms locked up. I was in a relationship with a guy who said he was okay with not having kids. 15 years later, the resentment he had towards me for not having kids destroyed our relationship. At some point she's going to have an unplanned pregnancy. This is a huge deal breaker. Yikes. I would run for the hills. It means she doesn't take you seriously about not wanting kids ever. She probably is thinking she can change your mind once she is with child.
I want my cheesy puffs.
Was I wrong? I'm not sure if I'm looking for advice or validation or what, but I felt the need to share this. So I met a guy on Tinder. He seemed great. We had the same interests and hobbies. We liked the same shows, movies, and music. We talked for a few weeks when we started making plans to hang out. He finally dropped somewhat of a bombshell on me and tells me he has a 3-year-old daughter. I made the choice to be child-free when I was 23 or so. I know I would be a terrible mother and crying children make me incredibly anxious. I also state in my Tinder bio that I am child-free, so if he read my bio, it shouldn't have been a shock to him. Anyway, I break things off and he gets pissed and starts being incredibly rude and tells me that I'll never find a man acting that way. And basically calls me a witch for not wanting to take things further or give him a chance because he has a kid. I tell my friends about it and they basically treat me like I'm a monster for ending things before they can even begin. They all know I don't want children, so dating someone who already has a child is a hard no. I guess my question is, was I being a witch or was I wrong in ending things? We had never even met in person, so I feel like there were no losses on either side, but it seems like everyone is telling me I'm wrong and I'm not sure why. Nope, the guy either didn't bother to read your bio or read it and thought he could change your mind when you met his kid. He totally sucks, and in the future block his ass before he has a chance to try to make you feel guilty for a stance you were 100% upfront about. And reconsider your friends. That's like someone mentioning they were incarcerated after weeks of phone calls, and your friends should know better.
No, you did exactly the right thing. He's just butthurt because he couldn't find someone dumb enough to play maid/nanny to his daughter. In fact, you'd have been far more the monster if you'd gotten to know him and his daughter, ingratiated yourself into their lives, and then disappeared. I'm sorry. Your friends are idiots.
He was being a witch, not you. There's a reason he didn't mention a kid earlier, because people know it's going to lessen their chances with someone. It makes total sense to stop continuing something with a person if there's something drastically incompatible. There's no point in dragging out a relationship with someone if you know it's not going to work out. Everyone has their list of qualities, traits that they don't want in a partner, so there's no sense in wasting each other's time unless it's just going to be a hookup thing. No, you are not wrong. You have every right to choose what you want or don't want in your life. I just don't understand why others get their undies in a twist when someone actually decides for themselves the life they want. Why should you change just because someone else thinks you should? That's bullcrap. You did nothing wrong. You stated you are child-free. The other person was wrong not to say in the beginning they had a child. Anyone who gives you crap about this is not your friend. Your life, your decisions. He's in the wrong because you stated in your bio that you don't want kids, so really that shouldn't be a shocker and you need new friends. You're not wrong. That guy was an ass. He's angry at you for sticking to how you want to live your life instead of doing what he wants you to. You did nothing wrong. Your bio already said you're child-free. He effed up when he decided to try his luck with a child-free person. Don't worry your head anymore with this guy. Forget him and move on. There's other men out there waiting to hear from you and maybe date you. Good luck with the dating game. Imagine growing up with a dad who verbally abuses people. Poor kid. OP, you deserve better friends. Ask them, if you matched with a person knowing you want or already have kids and that person later said surprise, I'm child-free for life, would you be a monster for breaking it off? No, they wouldn't. So why are you a monster to them? F them. You don't owe that asshole your time if you have a deal breaker and know you're incompatible.
This guy is such a piss-poor parent that he'd rather prioritize getting his dick wet over finding a partner who'd be a good match for him and his kid. It's so effing selfish and disgusting. Not to mention insanely disrespectful to you, OP.
You did the right thing. Any partner who is a total asshole to you when you break it off isn't someone you want to be with. And a toddler. Yuck. Even people who like kids hate toddlers. Dude, should have wrapped it 3 years and 10 months ago. You were not being a witch. You have stated that you don't want kids. He chose to hide his child from you, then got mad when you didn't move the goalpost for him. Your boundary is your boundary is your boundary. He's the jerk for being angry, not you. He and your friends are the ones in the wrong. If you are child-free and he has a child, then you are not compatible. So why take things farther? It's like if I, a vegan, found out that the person I'm talking to eats meat once a week, for example, I would break things up because we're just not compatible and no one should blame me for that. No. You've got your boundaries. No shame on living by them. When I was on the apps I made it very clear. I am child-free. I have no kids, and I do not want to deal with yours. You could be more tactful. But it seemed to work. People want to say they didn't understand, that's fine. I'll make it very effing clear. Sounds like a major dick, you dodged a real bullet there, OP. Someone like that is just looking for a babysitter, not a partner. I'm glad you're confident in your decision, always trust your gut. Plenty of great child-free people still out there. You were not wrong at all. I allowed myself to believe that crap of not finding a man acting that way, and it brought me nothing but misery and trauma. The right man for you is gonna respect your decisions, and a respectable man would have never said anything negative back to you. You don't owe this guy anything at all. And good riddance. He sounds really pathetic. Would be good to find new actual friends too. Your current friends don't sound like real friends.
Child-free means child-free, including your child. Being in a relationship with a person who has a child is, quite literally, not being child-free. Of course you're not wrong. This guy is just an entitled asshole for thinking that your life choices are not as important as his.
It is very simple, darling. He is a total douche and your friends are complete twats. Why the F is it that kids are not allowed to be a deal breaker? If it was anything else, people are understanding. I love video games and they hate them. Oh yeah, incompatible. I like to hike and they are allergic to outside. That sucks, but it never would work out. They own 17 dogs and I am extremely allergic. Too bad, but there's other fish in the sea. They have a kid and I don't like kids. What? Why are you not giving this person a chance? Find better friends because they just showed you a side you will need to remember when they start laying eggs. They will expect your money and time and never give any back. You can find a great child-free guy and social group, and parent friends who are not twats. You did the right thing. You don't want kids, he has kids, transitive property, you don't want him. This is a fundamental incompatibility. The relationship was utterly doomed, not just because of the kid existing, but because he intentionally kept the kid secret from you, which means he's not honest and trustworthy. Everyone has deal breakers. Children are one of yours. There's no reason to sign up for a situation that you don't want. Your instincts were right. I've been a stepmom and it is no joke, solidified me wanting to be child-free, and considering his attitude he likely wanted to find someone to take over childcare. You are not wrong, F all them dumbasses, tell them to date him if they're so keen. F no, you weren't being a witch. He was being a witch. F that loser. If he's being this rude now, he's a piece of shit and I feel sorry for his kid. No wonder the baby's mum isn't with him. He's a prick. You 100% did the right thing. And your friends that think you're a monster are cake holes. Find some new friends who aren't jerks. Jesus effing Christ. You don't owe anybody anything and tell the guy he should be ashamed of himself for trying to push his kid on someone who has no interest in kids. What kind of neglectful piece of shiz would do that if you even gave half a shit about your kid's existence and not treat it like a shameful burden? At least you know what you want and don't want in life and don't need to be sneaky about it. Flip the script on these losers and treat them like neglectful dog owners. Please like and subscribe.